You and I both know the brutal truth most men refuse to accept. Attraction isn't a democracy, it's a tournament. Not because you make it one, but because human nature does. Attention is the currency, and whoever holds it with calm power sets the terms. The mistake is thinking you win by giving more of your attention than anyone else. You don't. You win because your attention is rare, weighted, and earned. When a woman senses that your time doesn't chase validation, that your presence isn't available on demand, her instincts sharpen. She studies you, she calibrates to you, she wants to stand out. And in that moment, without a single trick or flashy line, she begins to compete for your attention, because your attention means something. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end, because we're only getting started, and I'm going to hand you the inner architecture that makes women step toward you with intention. You create that effect from the first second she encounters your energy. Before words, before a smile. It starts with how you carry time. Most men move like they're apologizing for taking up space. Fast gestures, nervous eyes, jittery attention that scans for approval. You will do the opposite. Your body is still, grounded through your feet as if you're plugged into the floor. Your breathing is low. Your eyes land and stay. You don't seek contact, you allow it to happen on your terms. You look at her the way a man assesses a fine piece of art, appreciation without hunger, delight without need. That gaze alone communicates a message she rarely hears. You are intrigued and selective, not starving. She feels it in the micro-tensions of her body, the slight lift of her chest, the tilt of her head, the way her voice becomes a fraction softer when she speaks. You haven't said a word and the frame is already set. You're not auditioning. She is deciding how to stand out. When you speak, you strip away the noise. The way you speak matters more than anything you say. Your words are paced, deliberate, like you're unrolling a map and inviting her to follow. No filler, no babbling explanations that justify your right to be here. If she asks what you do, you state it simply and end with a period, not a question mark. I build things. I lead a team. I'm focused on a project that matters to me. Then silence. Comfortable silence. Let her ask more. Give her little, then a little more. Like placing cards face down with a half smile. Mystery is not withholding, it is precision. Precision creates curiosity. Curiosity pulls investment. Investment creates competition. Understand the underlying engine inside her mind. Women don't chase men, they chase feelings they can't easily categorize. You become that feeling by creating a subtle gap between what she expects and what you are. She expects immediate interest and overeager attention. You offer warm composure and selective focus. She expects a man who proves himself. You offer a man who reveals himself slowly. She expects routine praise for the obvious. You offer a refined observation that shows you're actually present. If she's dressed well, you don't throw confetti with generic compliments. You narrow in and name the intention behind a detail. You have a talent for choosing textures that invite the eye. That kind of line is not flattery, it is evidence. Now she's listening with her whole body, not just her ears, because you're not competing on volume. You're competing on depth. Scarcity is not pretending to be busy. It's being a man whose time is structured around commitments that existed before she arrived and will exist if she leaves. You have a training routine you don't break for dopamine. You have a craft that steals your focus and empties your ego. You have brothers you show up for. Your calendar has edges, and those edges are visible when you speak about plans. When it's time to invite her out, you do it as a man who is already moving. I'm checking a new place on Thursday at 7. Join me for a drink if you want something interesting. Then you stop talking. You don't sell, you don't pitch, you don't add 20 reasons why it will be fun. She can feel that you're extending an opportunity into your world. That frame reverses the gravity. Now she's deciding how to fit into your motion. This alone removes you from the crowd of men who orbit and wait. You are the center of gravity. She leans in or drifts away. Either outcome leaves your self-respect untouched. The psychology here is ancient and visceral. Human beings attribute value to what is valued by others and guarded by its owner. But there's a right way to let that truth work in your favor. You do not flaunt other women or parade attention to spark jealousy. That's cheap. You become the kind of man whose presence attracts people, men and women, because your energy is clean and your standards are high. You treat people well. You remember names. You introduce people to each other. You have a social life that feels like warm firelight, inviting, not performative. At an event, you're not stuck to her. You're in motion, greeting, connecting, returning, letting her see that your attention is something you share selectively. When she notices others naturally seeking your company, the signal is involuntary. This man is socially valuable. Not because he bragged, because the room is reacting. There will be moments when she tests the weight of your attention. Maybe she delays her reply and watches your reaction. Maybe she teases you to see if you fold into neediness. Maybe she introduces a sliver of challenge, a comment designed to tug on your ego. Most men tighten and start performing. You will not. Your attention isn't a leash she can yank. It's a throne you keep polished. If she delays, you remain on your cadence. If she jokes at your expense, you smile like a man watching a storm through a window and answer with playful composure. Careful. I'm hard to offend and easy to dismiss. There's no edge in your voice. There's steadiness. The message is clear. You have a soft heart and a hard boundary. That combination is magnetic because it promises safety while preserving challenge. Making her compete for your attention doesn't mean pitting her against other women. It means inviting her to rise to the standards that guard your time. Standards are the invisible halo around your presence. They define the climate of your interactions. A few examples. You don't tolerate chaotic communication. If she flakes, you don't punish, you don't sulk, you don't lecture. You make your next invitation smaller, or you allow the connection to cool without resentment. You calibrate your effort to her effort. If she invests, you reciprocate with presence. If she withdraws, you stop carrying both sides of the bridge. You never argue for your value. You demonstrate it through the quality of your life, your word, and your attention to reality. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Your texting becomes a refined tool, not a place to dump attention. You compress. You reply on your rhythm, not hers, and you refuse to let the conversation flatten into empty repetition. You do not send essay-length messages or heart-on-sleeve paragraphs to someone who hasn't earned them. Your messages open doors, not start campfires. We'll park this and continue in person. I want to hear that story live. Thursday is good. 7 sa. I'll pick a spot that takes conversation seriously. Notice the tone. Minimal, grounded, decisive. The subtext is that you value lived experience over digital anxiety. The more the world feeds on instant responses, the more your restraint signals leadership. She feels the oxygen in that space. She begins to earn your texts, not drown in them. In conversation, you shape the air. Many men chase chemistry through relentless questions, hoping to find the right combination that unlocks attraction. You will use fewer questions and more statements loaded with perception. Questions gather information. Statements reveal presence. Instead of, "What do?" you might say, "You move like someone who carries responsibility well." Then watch what she does with it. If she offers a topic, you don't interrogate. You add a layer, an image, a reframe that deepens the conversation by half a step. You describe the sensory texture of the experience she's referencing. Smells, sounds, the way her hands moved when she told the story. Suddenly she feels seen rather than surveyed. And when a woman feels seen, she doesn't want to step off the stage you've constructed. She wants to keep performing for your attention. You'll also cultivate what I call decisive detachment, not coldness, clarity. If tension rises, you lean in with calm shoulders and an amused mouth, not a raised voice. If a negotiation is needed, you offer it in a single sentence. I like where this is going. Let's slow down and let it breathe. If lines are crossed, you end the interaction with kindness, but without doubt. You're not here to win every moment. You're here to protect the tone of your life. That tone, set by your standards, creates the arena where she either relaxes into her feminine or bounces off your boundaries. If she relaxes, she invests. If she invests, she naturally begins to seek your attention because it feels like stepping into a higher frequency, a cleaner mirror. Competing for you becomes competing with her old patterns. The sensation you want her to feel around you is weightless intensity. Think of candlelight on a polished table, the air still but charged. You accomplish this by connecting quiet presence with playful sparks. Light challenges, teasing observations, and subtle double meanings placed like velvet pins. She reaches for the meaning behind your words and smiles because you refuse to hand it over too easily. Push-pull, when executed by a grounded man, isn't a game, it's a rhythm. You push with a raised eyebrow when she tries a routine move. You pull with genuine appreciation when she reveals something real. That rhythm is addictive because it's alive. Static attention grows stale. Dynamic attention makes her feel the living edge of your interest. That's what she competes for, the privilege of dancing on that edge. Your lifestyle is the skeleton key. You cannot fake being a man with a center. You build it in the hours no one sees. Your morning discipline, your evenings of focused work, the small rituals that keep your body sharp and your mind clean. These are not for display, yet they radiate through every interaction. A woman can't fully explain why you feel different. She just knows your attention doesn't wobble. When she tries to test the boundaries, it's not a crisis, it's confirmation. She is supposed to test. Not to break you, but to feel you. The steadier you are, the more she trusts herself to be soft around you. And when softness meets steadiness, investment follows naturally. She starts initiating. She starts suggesting. She starts making effort without being asked, because she wants to keep experiencing the version of herself your presence unlocks. Now let's address the subtle art of exit timing. Most men try to stretch a moment to prove it's real. You will do the opposite. You'll end moments on a high note, leaving space for her to imagine the next one. In person, this looks like standing first with a smile when the energy peaks. I like this. Let's not ruin it by dragging it. Thursday, 7. Then you leave. On text, it looks like not milking a good exchange for a dozen more messages. Let the conversation fall into silence with a confident period. The nervous system remembers endings. When you end on your terms, her mind replays the best part, and she becomes the one reopening the loop. This is where competition intensifies internally. She wants to be the reason you extend the moment next time. When she does invest, you reward with presence, not with chasing. On the date, your phone is on airplane mode. Your eyes are unhurried. You listen not to reply, but to feel. When she shares something vulnerable, you reflect it back in a sentence that holds both strength and empathy. You carry a lot without complaining. I respect that. Notice the precision. No grand speeches, no oversharing that makes the moment about you. And when you touch, you escalate patiently, calibrating to her breath, her pupils, the speed of her words. If she puts a boundary, you respect it instantly, not as approval-seeking, but because you respect boundaries in yourself. Respecting hers signals you don't bulldoze, you lead. That leadership is the ultimate magnet. It tells her that intimacy with you will never ask her to split herself in half. She will compete for your attention, not as a child begging for candy, but as a woman choosing a man who multiplies her. There's a darker layer you must master, not to abuse, but to understand. Intermittent validation hijacks memory. Many men weaponize this by playing hot and cold. That's childish. Your version is healthier and more powerful. You give validation when it's earned, and you give it with specificity. You don't drip compliments endlessly. You name real qualities at unpredictable but honest intervals. She never feels entitled to your praise, which means she values it. The scarcity of your validation, because it's real, makes it land with force. That force plants flags in her memory. Days later, she'll remember a single sentence you said with more color than a dozen texts from other men. Be generous with appreciation, not lavish with flattery. Appreciation grows the parts of her you want more of. Flattery cheapens both of you. If conflict appears, and it will, you treat it as an opportunity to deepen the frame rather than a threat to your ego. You don't punish her with distance or explode into arguments. You slow down the tempo and name the dynamic. I like you. I won't compete with your phone. If you want my attention, meet me with yours. Or, I'm not the guy you text at midnight because you're bored. I prefer plans. You're not scolding. You're stating terms. It's astonishing how quickly behavior changes when a woman meets a man willing to walk away from anything that disrespects his standard. She'll either match you or she won't. Either way, you're free. Freedom is your most attractive trait because everything else flows from it. Your humor, your patience, your willingness to cut the rope when something twists your soul out of shape. Here's a powerful shift most men never make. Stop trying to be chosen and start creating a reality worth choosing. That means you make decisions about venues that reflect your taste, not loud places where you can hide behind chaos, but spots where conversation can breathe. It means you choose experiences that reveal who she is. A small bookstore before the wine bar, a walk through a market before dinner, a gallery where silence says more than talk. You don't overload the night, you sequence it with elegance. Sequence is everything. She should feel like she's entering a narrative, not a negotiation. Your narrative says, I move with intention. Join me if you can keep up. She will compete to belong in a story that elevates her. In your body language, remember the rule of anchored openness. Your chest is open but not puffed. Your shoulders are back but relaxed. You lean back a degree more than you think you need, then lean in slightly when she shares something meaningful, reinforcing that she can pull your focus with substance, not antics. You make pauses your ally. Silence isn't empty, it's charged. In silence, she feels the stakes of your attention rise. She works to earn the next line. And when you give it, you keep it textured, sensory, grounded. I like the way you think out loud. It's like watching a painter layer color. Lines like that turn a simple conversation into a felt experience because you make her inner world visible. She doesn't compete against other women. She competes against the version of herself that existed before she met you. When it comes to physical boundaries, power shows in restraint. Many men fumble here, either rushing or freezing. You neither rush nor stall. You escalate on the exhale. A light touch when you guide her through a doorway. The back of your hand against hers when you make a point. Then you remove your touch first, leaving a wake of sensation. If she initiates, you meet it slowly, with eye contact that lingers a heartbeat longer than comfortable. Then you smile like you know exactly what you're doing and you do. You pace pleasure because pacing is power. Let her mind trail after you. Let her decide to catch up. In that chasing, she proves something to herself about how much she wants your attention, and once she proves it, she'll protect it. Becoming the man she competes for requires winning a private war most men lose, the war against needing a specific outcome. When you detach from outcome, your vibe shifts from "I hope this works" to "I am already becoming." You're not trying to secure her, you're revealing yourself and selecting. Selection is sacred. You don't select her body, you select her pattern. How she communicates, how she adjusts, how she respects time, how she brings delight instead of drama. If she meets your standard, you invest. If she doesn't, you step back without venom. You're not here to fix anyone. You are here to grow with someone who can handle the altitude of your life. Now listen to me closely, because this is the pivot that changes everything. She's not actually competing with other women. She's competing with your mission. Your mission is the sun. Every person in your life orbits that light. The moment she senses your mission burning bright, work that challenges you, goals that sculpt you, values that anchor you, she recognizes the truth. Your attention is not mindless. It's sacred. It aligns with where you're going. If she wants more of it, she orients herself accordingly. She takes initiative. She texts first. She suggests plans that respect your time. She adds value in ways that are light and thoughtful, a restaurant that fits your taste, a book that pushes your thinking, a detail she remembered from something you said. That's when you know competition has turned internal. She is no longer trying to beat someone else. She's trying to be the woman who fits your future. If you know a brother who needs to hear this, someone giving away his attention like spare change, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. Most men have never been told that attention is not love. Attention is the soil in which love may grow. Guard the soil and you guard your life. As we close, I want you to picture the next time you meet a woman who stirs something deep in you. See yourself entering the room with that grounded stillness, that patient gaze that says you live by your own seasons. Feel your words slow down until each one lands with weight. Watch how her body shifts, how her breath changes, how her curiosity becomes effort. You speak less and reveal more. You invite without pleading. You create a moment, then leave it intact. Days pass, and she finds herself returning to your energy in her mind, replaying a line, craving another look, another conversation, another chance to earn a longer piece of your presence. That is the moment you've been working toward. The moment you stop begging for space in her life and start becoming the space she wants to inhabit. You are not the man who reacts. You are the man who selects. You are not the man who tries to keep her interest alive with frantic gestures and long messages. You are the man who programs his life so cleanly that anything chaotic falls away. You are not competing with other men. You're setting a standard that makes other men irrelevant, and she can feel it. She can feel that being close to you demands the best in her. She realizes the cost of your attention is effort, grace, and alignment. She either rises or she doesn't. Either way, you remain, unshaken, moving forward. If what you've heard today resonated and restructured how you see yourself, stay with this energy and run the play. Start small this week. Slow your speech, compress your texts, enforce one boundary and one interaction at the high point, and let the silence work for you. Then come back and tell me what shifted. Drop your experience below. I read every single one, and I want to see you win this with clarity and class. And if you're ready to keep sharpening this craft, make sure you're here for what comes next. We're just getting warmed up.